What we want to do first is grease a section of foil better than I'm doing now. You slightly go over it with grease. Then you want to put your skinned haddock. I skinned this earlier. It's not easy to do that. On your foil, on your greased foil. And sprinkle with pepper. You don't want so much pepper on. Preferably black pepper. Sprinkle it over with pepper. Of course, you don't want a lot. Then you need to put it into the oven for 15 minutes or 20 minutes until it's more or less cooked. One thing I should have mentioned at this point is that before you put it into the oven, you need to wrap it up. Wrap your foil around it just like that and put that in the oven for about 20 minutes. I might mention at this point that the recipe calls for 14 ounces of haddock, but I only got 7 ounces, so we're using 7 ounces of haddock. And next thing to do is to boil some potatoes, and you need to boil these until they're mashed and soft, so that might take a while. While these are boiling, fish can be cooking, then it gets left to cool. You might want to add a bit of salt at this stage, because it calls for salted water. Sprinkle about half a teaspoon of salt in, mix it round, and just wait for them to cook. When your spuds have boiled, then you want to mash them. I don't think I've left them to boil for long enough really. I've still got fish in oven and that's cooking nicely. Smash them in like that. You don't want to do it too much. You don't want them too soggy and stick. Breaking half a cinnamon stick. One small sprig of rosemary, a very small sprig, because it tends to stink a lot, does rosemary. Not being very nice about rosemary. Then stir it round. Yeah, it's really pungent, is rosemary. You can use it as a room scent, as long as you use it sparingly. Next thing you want is half a teaspoon of mustard. Fairly potent stuff is mustard, so I'm not a big fan of it, so I'll just use half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of salad cream. Small drop of salad cream. Then just stir that in. Stir that all in. It's quite a simple recipe, this is not complicated about it. I'll add about half a cupful of lemon juice, very sparingly. Stir it round. Break your haddock up, cut it into chunks, into small chunks, and drop it into mashed potato. It's at about 20 minutes in oven, so it should be okay. Might not be the best way of doing it, but it's the way I'm doing it. Fishing with mashed potato. I'll just mix it nicely. Season with salt and pepper. A small sprig of black pepper. Stir that in. The way to do this is to sprinkle breadcrumbs on a baking tray. And pour some olive oil on. So we'll stick to fish cake. Just pour it on like that. And make up your fish cakes. Just divide into sections, like that, into little fish cakes. More breadcrumbs on top. Pour some olive oil on. And leave in oven for about half an hour on gas mark 4. And there you have it, the final result. It looks a bit of a mishmash and for a bit misshaped, but that's basically how to make fish cakes. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.